My daughter intentionally ruined my sister's wedding dress, so I took her college money away. Now my ex is saying I'm ruining her life. My ex, 31F, and I, 32M, had our daughter, Claire, 16F, way too young. We're friendly co-parents, and one big rule we share is that if our daughter breaks something, she pays for it. For context, my sister Sarah, 27F, and I are the only grandkids in the family. My aunt never got married, and instead, she worked with my grandma and grandpa at their seamstress store and took it over when they retired. My sister's girlfriend, Caitlin, 29F, proposed to her last year, and my grandpa generously offered to make Caitlin a custom suit, which she was over the moon about. Grandma had me ask Sarah what her dream dress was, and I secretly recorded the conversation while Sarah thought it was just between us. She said in great detail what her dream dress was but said it was way too expensive, so she would get something much cheaper. Well, a few months later, Grandma surprised Sarah with her dream wedding dress. It fit perfectly, and everyone celebrated Sarah's special moment. Sadly, Grandma recently passed away, which hit us all hard. Sarah was devastated, but decided that the dress meant Grandma would still be there with us at the wedding. The issue comes in with Claire. She's very large, much larger than Sarah. 3 days ago, we decided to go visit Sarah and see how she was doing. It was great, but then Claire asked if she could try on the dress. Sarah politely refused, and to that, Claire made a face, but dropped it, and we thought that was that. Later on, we decided to go grab dinner, so Sarah and I went to pick up our orders, but Claire decided to stay and play with Sarah's dog. When we got back, the dress was destroyed, absolutely demolished. Claire had apparently tried to get it on, popping some seams, and then got stuck. Instead of waiting for help, she cut her way out. The dress was literally hacked to bits. Understandably, Sarah was devastated and asked us to leave. I grounded Claire once we got home and called my aunt with some pictures, asking if it could be saved. She said there was no chance of saving that dress, she could make a new one, but it wouldn't be the same. There was a slight pause, and then she dropped something that left me speechless. Grandma had hand-sewed most of the dress, used super expensive fabric, and put almost 500 hours into making that dress, since it was the only family wedding we'd have. In total, the dress cost $12,000, give or take. Claire has about $15,000 saved from various jobs, as well as winning writing competitions. This was supposed to help her in college. I took her to the bank and set in motion transferring all the funds, since as her parent, I still have control over it. $12,000 to my aunt to pay for the new dress, and $3,000 to my sister's wedding as an emotional distress tax. I explained exactly why this was happening to Claire, but she sobbed the entire time, asking what she was supposed to do for college, saying it wasn't her fault. I told her she could get a job if she didn't get a scholarship, and it was her fault for trying on the dress after she had been told no, and for not waiting until we got back. A few pop seams could have been fixed. Hacking the dress to pieces couldn't. Claire told my ex, and while she agreed Claire was in the wrong after the full story, she said I shouldn't have ruined her future over a dress that was free, since it was gifted. I reminded her of our rule, and she still thinks I'm wrong. Edit. Since people are mentioning they don't understand the $3,000, that was to make up to my sister because Claire destroyed the last gift our late grandma ever gave her. I consider that part of the price of destroying the dress, since even if my aunt remakes it, it's lost a great deal of its sentimental value. I pointed out how young we were when we had her because I wanted to explain how a 31-year-old has a 16-year-old kid. I do not resent having her, she's the best thing I've ever done. I also brought up Claire's size because Sarah has Crohn's disease, and thus is very tiny. The dress was made for her size, and Claire is much larger than her. I love Claire as she is, but just holding the dress up, it was clear it wouldn't fit. And to clarify, the money was Claire's have fun at college money, not her college fund. My ex and I are paying for whatever scholarships don't cover. When she was asking what she would do for college, she was asking what she'd do for fun and to buy things we didn't pay for. Update 1. So, I got off the phone with my ex about 20 minutes ago. At some of your suggestions, I sent her the pictures, and she freaked out. She apparently didn't believe me when I said it had been hacked apart and believed it was just a few torn seams. She was pretty much on my side after that. She told me that she spent the day badgering our daughter, asking her why she did what she did, and finally, Claire cracked and said she was mad that Grandma wasn't alive to make her a dress, and that it was unfair my sister got a free beautiful dress as a reminder when my daughter got nothing, despite the many things she was given after the funeral. She tried it on, took it off when the seams popped, and then hacked it apart in anger. In her own words, if she couldn't have a dress from Grandma, no one could. Honestly, knowing she did it on purpose has just made things worse. The fact that she could be so cruel, that's not the daughter we tried to raise. She will be going to therapy, whether that's in person when local therapists start taking new clients again, or on one of those apps people have mentioned. We need to talk about it more. Her punishment stands as is, though we're going to see how therapy goes. As for all the seamsters who have reached out, please know I'm touched by your kindness. I really am. My aunt is going to see if she can incorporate at least some of the fabric from the old dress into the new one, maybe at least try to save the beading, but if there's anything usable, I'll reach out. I so appreciate all of your offers, you're incredibly kind people. I have yet to talk to Sarah, but I have talked to her fiancé, and she says Sarah isn't doing well. The stress has caused a Crohn's flare-up, so she's stuck in bed sick. Which, honestly, I'm not surprised. Crohn's is often triggered by stressful events, so I was expecting it. I told the fiancé about our aunt making a new dress, and she promised to take the remains over to her on Monday. She's thankful for us addressing the issue, but has asked us to give Sarah some space so she can recover and heal, and hopefully not end up in the hospital. As for the 3,000, we'll see what my sister's state is in a few days. If she has to go to the hospital, then the money is forfeit for her medical bill since it was Claire's selfishness that put her there, so she can pay for it. If Sarah does not end up in the hospital, then I'll consider giving it back after she's gone to therapy for a few months, if she's accepted what she did was wrong and worked to make amends. We'll see how the future pans out.